Okay, so let's look at the three levels of healing once more. Outer healing tends to focus on the outer aspects of life's problems. You may have a disease, you may get a treatment, and you may get better. But even if you eliminate the disease and the cause of this one illness, still mind at that level sees issues as external. You may have little incentive to recognize inner goodness, since outer experience depends on outer circumstances. Middle healing is feeling good any way you can, however long you can. Illness at this level is a feeling of deep loneliness, or not being loved by life. This is where we really feel the hurt. We all need middle healing at times, but we need to be careful how we get it. There can be a lot of wishful thinking here. Inner healing is going to the innermost core of our being and recognizing the inalienable goodness in us and our life, no matter how fearful, painful, or negative our situation seems to be. This is the key to all real healing. When we know our inner goodness, the other forms of healing tend to fall into place. But no doctor or method by itself can give us this inner healing. Inner healing may start with the other two levels, but ultimately we have to find this inner healing ourselves. And everything on this website is an attempt to help each of us do just that in whatever way works best for us. Outer healing tends to fall to professionals using standardized, licensed healing techniques. Inner healing is with ministers or meditation teachers who try to help us with pain other methods can't help. The path of middle healing is extremely important, but less well defined. These three approaches to healing often operate independently of each other and sometimes seemingly at odds. But with the help of our two teachers, we can see how outer, middle, and inner healing come together in real life when we know how our mind works in healing. When we understand the play of space and form in our mind, we see how mind naturally aims towards healing whatever experience it holds. We see that the ultimate obstacle to healing is not our illness, but our tendency to overlook the healing nature of our mind in the busyness of our life. We also see how we can use any opening in that busyness, including the opening that's given to us by our illness, to go to that healing power we are on the inside and bring that power out so that we know, feel, and do better in some way. Here is one way to see how this can work. Let's go back to that dark night where we saw stars and space. Appreciating both stars and space presents a little challenge in our mind that can grow into big problems in our life. The challenge is that we tend to identify so strongly with stars that we forget space. Ancient stargazers and mariners of just a few years ago memorized the names of stars, not space. Years ago, when I was in the Navy, I learned to use a sextant to measure the elevation of stars to find our location at sea. This process depends on space, but again, I didn't pay much attention to space. Space all looks the same, and I took it all for granted. While ignoring space can seem like the normal way to go at the time, doing so eventually makes us sick, because the more we ignore space in our mind, the more we come to fear it. And the more we get stuck in our mind and block its natural healing power in our life. We continue looking for yet another North Star. We doubt the value of whatever health we have, and we lose touch with our own inner goodness. The natural twinkle in our life is lost to the star wars of life and life and death struggles with our health. This is the last thing we need when we are ill. When we appreciate space, we know which star we're looking at. We see the twinkle in all stars and in our mind. And we know what healing is and how to heal in the long term. Thus, we need to understand, value, and really love the entire healing sky out there and within, stars, space, and all. These days, we usually don't rely on stars for healing, but we heal through forms such as medicines, therapy, etc., etc. These forms are our current day stars, emitting points of light in the sometimes dark sky of our life. Space is always there, but is harder to recognize as part of health. Whatever method we use for healing, not knowing and valuing the space within limits our approach to healing, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual problems, and our approach to life. When we appreciate space, we have access to the core of all healing methods. We know how that method works, and we know how to make healing itself work better. If we want to go beyond just getting caught in the cycle of the ups and downs of life, we have to work with both healing forms and with space. Bringing space and stars together for healing is like raising a healthy child. You support that child with all the stars of hugs and stories and security, violin lessons, bicycles, and all those things that you have in your heart. At the same time, you allow the space that child needs to emerge as the person she or he is uniquely destined to be, and in the way that only that child can find. Joining that kind of support and space is the path of love, the path of wonder, the path of growth. Always unknown until you search it out for yourself. In the same way, you can use everything in life to bring inner health out to the surface of your being.